From Burdens to Breakthroughs, Pastor Dawn Davis Lawrence. Have you ever had a burden? You might be carrying one right now. You might be going through something right now that is pressing you out of measure. You might be facing something in your life that seems so much bigger than you, that makes you feel as if you are unable. You can't take another step. You don't feel able. You feel far from able. You might be carrying a burden right now that is weighing you down and pressing you out of measure. Not 1 day, not 2 days, not a couple of months, not a year, but this has been pressing you out of measure for the longest time, and you don't know what to do about it. But I need you to know that God is moving you from your burden to your breakthrough. But he has to deal with your perception, with how you see things. David said, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil because God's with me. His rod and his staff, they comfort me. You see, you got to believe that. You've got to perceive in your spirit and in your mind that God is with you. See, God's dealing with your perception. Sometimes we carry things for so much longer than we ought to because we're not seeing right. When Moses stood at the Red Sea and it seemed too big, this was a joke. I mean, how could God bring him to this? I mean, this was crazy. Hadn't he called him to be a deliverer? Was this what God was about to do in his life, to humiliate him in front of all these people, to make him look like an idiot and a fool? And sometimes your burden can make you feel like a fool because you believed, because you trusted God. And now look at me now. Look at what my trust has presented in my life. This is what I get paid for. I mean, this is how I'm rewarded for how I believed and how I trusted. Moses stood there and he couldn't believe it. A Red Sea, God, really? But God was dealing with his perception. When he spoke to Moses, he said, stand still. You see, the only way that Moses could say that to the people was because it was what God had said to him. See the salvation. Sometimes we have to be able to stand still, not weep and moan and complain and cry about what we're carrying and what we're going through, but stand still and see. I mean, see. And how can you see? See, perceive, understand, comprehend. See the salvation of the Lord. See it, see it. See it in the Goliath. See it in the mountain. See it in the valley. What do I mean by see? Understand it. Understand it. Understand that we serve a God who darkness and light, they are alike to him. Perceive it, understand that the valley is the same as the mountain to him, that Goliath is the same as Zacchaeus to him, that it doesn't matter what it is that you're going through. Perceive and understand that the darkness and the light, they are the same, that you perceive who you are, that you are greater than what you are going through, that you are more powerful and stronger than what is trying to lay you low, that God is moving you from your burden. If you would just see this, from your burden, you had to go through this burden. You had to go that way because there are some things that God wants to bring out in you and reveal to you about you and reveal to you about him. He is moving you from your burden to a breakthrough. Perceive it, comprehend it, stand still and see it, and you will see it. He's moving you from your burden to a breakthrough.